Vision right now, and although President Trump has said he hopes to unify the country, have you in the first month seen him do or say anything that in your opinion would be an attempt to heal the wounds of the election?
Well, first of all, there's only been 1 month in office, and so it's he's got 4 years. Secondly, I think you have to take the man for his word that he wants to unify the country, and we'll see whether he's able to do so. It's hard to unify the country, though, with the news media being so split up. When I was president, you mattered a lot more.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows?
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect. Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization.
You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect, can you state categorically, Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question? You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state?
Being raised by some about the price of protecting the first family. Let's discuss now. CNN political contributor Maria Cardona, Karine Jean-Pierre, the senior advisor at MoveOn.org, and CNN political commentators Paris Denard and Andre Bauer. Welcome back, panel. Maria, you just heard Tom Foreman lay it out. Between the First Lady living in New York to weekends in Mar-a-Lago, the cost of protecting the first family could be epic, but that has always been the responsibility of the Secret Service. So is there anything different now?
Well, there is a couple of things different here, Don. First of all, hypocrisy, which is nothing new when it comes to the Trump administration. He's full of hypocrisy day in and day out. He not only lambasted President Obama every time he would go on a trip saying that it's taxpayer money, how shameful it is, that he doesn't spend enough time at the White House, that he's golfing every weekend. And in 2015, he gave an interview to The Hill where he said if he became president, he would rarely leave Washington, rarely leave the White House. So we now see that that is absolutely not true. The second thing I think that is a big issue, especially for Trump and his family, is the fact that he has 4 adult children that also need protection whenever they travel. And that's fine. Like you said, that is something that happens. It is what it is. We have to protect the first family. All of it, including the adult children. But when the adult children are out on business trips, making deals, closing deals, and making themselves rich while taxpayers are paying for it, that is a completely different thing.
Let me bring the other panelists in here because we have a short time. Andre, the Washington Post reports that the Secret Service hotel bill for Eric Trump's trip to South America last month was nearly $100,000. Both the President Trump's grown children heading to a golf course opening in Dubai this weekend. Any concern you think the Trump family's personal business and lifestyle costing taxpayers a lot of dough?
Well, you know I'm a fiscal conservative, and so yes, when I heard just a minute ago in your story that 300 people travel with the president, to me, no matter if it's a Republican or Democrat, that seems excessive to me. And somebody ought to look into ways to save money. I think the first family needs to be protected no matter who it is. And we could argue, look, Bill Clinton bills the United States government to have Secret Service on his property, which to me seems a little bit crazy. It's illegal, but he's the only person to ever do it. But you could go through all of them, of the trips they took, and maybe they shouldn't have taken some of these trips. But at the end of the day, we want the most powerful leader in the world protected. But can we do it in a more prudent and responsible way? Hopefully so, and hopefully somebody within this administration will look at it and say, here's where we can save some money. Because at the end of the day, the taxpayers are footing an extremely large bill.
Yeah. Karine, you say this is hypocrisy?
I do. I think it's complete hypocrisy. Like Maria was saying, he chastised President Obama for going on vacation, for golfing, and President Obama had fewer vacation days than his predecessor, President George W. Bush. I think for me, the thing that bothers me the most about this is the profiting off of the presidency. Mar-a-Lago, they doubled their initiation fee to $200,000. And also, he actually never let go of ownership of his businesses. So his adult children are traveling, making money for the organization, so he's profiting.
I want to bring in Paris now. Sorry to cut you guys short, but I want to get it all in before we have to go. Paris, what do you think?
I think this is fake news. This is not a news story. Don,
tell me what about it is fake, Paris. We're going to go. Are we going down this road again?
Yeah, we are.
Come on, Paris.
I
agree
didn't
with
interrupt
Paris.
any of you all. Let me just tell you why. The president is not breaking any laws, and he's not doing anything. It's not his
Okay,
fault.
Paris, hold on. Let me ask you this.
No,
Let me
let me finish
ask you. I'm going to let
It's
you
not-
finish. I'm going to let you finish. Do you actually know what the definition of fake news is?
What we're doing right now.
No, okay. Well,
Because
then,
this is not
then you
this
are part
story.
of the fake news because you are on
I'm
the network
trying-
and you're part of the
no,
fake news
no, no.
is when
I'm
you
talking
hang on.
about
Let me
this
explain to
story.
people out there watching and you what fake news is. Fake news is when you put out a story to intentionally deceive someone and you know that it is wrong. I don't know of anyone who has put out a story in the mainstream media that I can think of right now to intentionally deceive anyone. Now, people get things wrong. Sources sometimes come up empty, but no one that I know has put out anything to intentionally deceive someone. This story that we're doing right now is not to intentionally deceive anyone. We are simply talking about the cost to keep a president safe, the Secret Service cost, and what are the pros and the cons, and as Andre said, and if there are ways that we can maybe able to work on that to make it fiscally better for the American people. There is nothing fake about that. Please stop it with that stupid talking point that it is a fake news story. If you don't want to participate in the news stories on this network, then don't come on and participate. But don't call them fake because you don't agree with them. Go on.
Don, this is a fake news story, in my opinion, because the
Okay,
underlying
Paris,
assumption
thank you very much,
is
everyone.
that
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Good night, all.
Thanks, Don.
Categorically,
question.
Mr.
Don't be
President-elect, can you give us a question?
be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm
us a
not gonna
question?
give you I'm not going to give you a
Can you
question.
can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
Go ahead.
can you state?
So you made this short documentary. It was about immigrant crime in Sweden. Tucker Carlson interviewed you about the film, talking about how the Swedish public feels about the situation. Let's watch this.
They know that this crime is happening. They can feel it. The statistics are clear. But they would refer to what is the root cause behind it and say, oh, it's just more, it happened to be more violence. It's men who are raping people, not the refugees. They'll make excuses for it. The majority of the population in Sweden still want to have an open door policy. It's confounding.
So the president sees your interview, which means you influenced him, the president of the United States, to spread, which really amounts to false information, right? How do you feel about being part of that?
I mean, the whole thing is just surreal, right? I mean, it was a Saturday night, and I get a text from somebody. I think the president just referenced you. And then I went to it, and I said, I'm not sure exactly what he was talking about, but clearly it seemed to be he was intimating this interview that we had with Tucker. So, yeah, it's absolutely, it's incredible. It's surreal. Yeah. It's unfortunate that he had the misstatement, but it's been all good for me.
Let's look at, here's what he said. Let's watch this.
We've got to keep our country safe. You look at what's happening in Germany. You look at what's happening last night in Sweden. Sweden. Who would believe this? Sweden. They took in large numbers. They're having problems like they never thought possible.
Okay, so let's talk about the numbers here.
Yeah.
Because we looked at the stats from the U.S. Department, the State Department. Here's what we learned, all right? Crime rose about 7% from 2012 to 2015. Much of that crime was nonviolent computer fraud and vandalism. In 2015, violent crime decreased slightly. There was no staggering increase. Where did you get your information, and did you look at the official numbers?
Yeah, from a far more accurate source, State Department. I don't know why the State Department is doing numbers for Sweden. I look at the Swedish, it's called BRA, B-R-A,
yeah, we have
which is the keeper of all stats for Sweden.
Right.
So if you look at what I call heavy crime, so I'm talking about murder, I'm talking about sexual assault. Sexual assault from 2006, 2015 is up almost 50%. Murder between 2012 and 2016 is up, I think, almost over 80%.
Yeah.
Now, so those are the real numbers.
Yeah, well, the real numbers, they don't show up almost 80%. I don't want to be rude, though, but are your ears and your eyes working? Because the numbers, as we're reading from BRA,
yeah,
right, and from the State Department, they don't show what you're saying. You're taking these numbers and you're manipulating them in a way that...
There's no
yes, I
manipulation.
have them. They're right here.
The raw
what does that
numbers
say?
are up.
That says BRA.
Yeah.
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 Show me the... But if you look at, even if you look at crime here in the United States, overall,
yeah,
for the past decade,
crime is down.
Crime is down.
Right.
There was a spike.
Rape is down.
There was a spike.
Murder's down.
In 1 year.
Non-Sweden.
Right. Over time.
Non-Sweden.
That's the same thing.
No, No,
but it's not skyrocketing.
totally wrong.
Okay, let's say that you're right.
Murder is
but
not.
there
Wait,
is
wait,
no.
sorry,
but
wait,
hold on,
okay.
you're classifying this as a skyrocket. That crime is skyrocketing. Rape.
Yeah.
It's not a skyrocket.
So you think you think when rape is down in the United States and everywhere else in Western Europe, and then rape is up 50%, that's not skyrocketing?
Because of the way they classify rapes now.
Listen to me. The definition was before
if you had
those
not
numbers.
classified unwanted touching, if you're at a concert and someone touches you on any part of your body, that is now in Sweden classified as rape.
So it is,
it was
and
not
so it is
before.
in the United States. First of all, it's sexual assault, not rape.
But
it's not rape, it's sexual assault.
It's sexual assault in the United States.
No,
but
it's sexual assault.
It's sexual assault in the United States, but it's not sexual assault in Sweden.
Incorrect.
It is now under the rape
That's
clause.
not right. So we're mistaken about that. Okay. The definition of rape in the United States, I looked at the definition.
And
in fact,
we know
out.
what it is in the
and
United States. We're not talking about the United States. We're talking about Sweden.
Listen to me. The definition of rape in the United States is the same, essentially, as the definition of rape in Sweden.
Now.
No,
not now. No, it's
now.
not. It's
no, you're
not.
wrong. Yes, it is.
It's a different classification.
It's not.
Stay categorically.
You are fake news.
Sir,
Go ahead.
can you stay?
At the times where you were dealing with the worst criticism, where it must have been very difficult to hear and read some of the things that were being said by the press in this country, did you ever consider the media to be the enemy of the American people? So many questions about the contacts between Trump associates during the campaign and the Russian government. As a former president, would you like to see a special prosecutor appointed to look into this once and for all and give the American people answers? What we're hearing today about a Muslim ban. Do you think the president's position on this has been well thought out? By banning people from 7 predominantly Muslim countries from entering this country, do we make it easier or harder to fight the war on terrorism? Just want to make sure I understand. You for or against the ban? You're against the ban? You sat at the inauguration. You listened to President Trump's inaugural address, and he talked about American carnage.
Yeah.
And the fact that so much has gone wrong in this country and so much is wrong. Is that the America you see when you travel around this country? There's enormous division right now, and although President Trump has said he hopes to unify the country, have you in the first month seen him do or say anything that, in your opinion, would be an attempt to heal the wounds of the election?
Well, first of all, there's only been 1 month in office, and so it's he's got 4 years. Secondly, I think you have to take the man for his word that he wants to unify the country, and we'll see whether he's able to do so. It's hard to unify the country, though, with the news media being so split up. When I was president, you mattered a lot more.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows?